Oh yeah, that's a very good representation. Look at that one. Good afternoon. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. It is a beautiful week here in East Tennessee. This got another day of sunshine and pretty weather. I have got to check on these Cochin eggs in my basement. I have 2 separate incubators of Cochin eggs brewing. One has 7 eggs that I know are viable. I've checked them and they are due to hatch next week. And then I have another incubator that has more eggs in it of Cochin Bantam eggs, and I haven't candled them yet. So that is what I am down here to do, and they are due to hatch the next week. And I hope I get a good hatch rate on this one I'm fixing to look at. So let's go into there and look at those, and then I'm gonna walk through the gardens and see what new stuff is coming up. Incubator number 1, this one has 7 eggs in it. It is due to hatch next Thursday. And then I set some more eggs in here. These are the ones I haven't candled. They're due to hatch the following Friday. Let's open these up and check and see how many are viable in here. Now this is my sister-in-law's incubator. I'm borrowing it from her. It is a Nurture Right 360. I've never used this one before. The humidity is a little different. In the past, I've always used Brinzies. And one thing I love about Brinzies, they are just absolutely perfect on their settings and like humidity, especially if you get the model that does the humidity, which I always do. I always use those models because they're so easy. This one actually goes into a little mason jar that pulls the water out of. You can use whatever you want, but it keeps it exactly where I want the humidity. This one has like a little channel you pour water into, so you kind of got to watch it more frequently. So like I got up this morning and the water had run down a little bit, so our humidity's lower, so I just got to fill it back up. I think this one actually has like a little candler on the top. Let's see. Okay, we may use that. Let's try that. All right, so if we're going to use the candler, let's turn the light on. That's very bright. All right, as far as that egg goes, it is a no-go on that one. This one is not fertile either. I can tell y'all if they're fertile or not by looking at them pretty early on, usually about the 4th day. All right, this is a definite fertilization. Now, if y'all look closely, you can see the veins. And then you can see that right there. That's the embryo. That's the eye forming. Definitely a fertile egg. So put that one back in there. Oh yeah, that's a very good representation. Look at that one. That one looks really good. Now, sometimes if you're incubating eggs, you might be incubating like a darker egg, and sometimes they're harder to determine. And they may take a little longer to be able to tell. Now, they do have different colors even within the same flock. See how that one's a little bit more tan colored than that one? And that's normal, and I find that to be true on birds that are darker. Sometimes they'll lay a darker egg. So those 4 are good. Let's just start over here. And that one's good. That one's good. That one. Up, and I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 in here, and 7 in the other, so I'm having a total of 19. They all hatched. Now, as far as what I'm going to do when the chicks hatch, where I'm going to put them, I haven't completely decided on that. I have a couple options. One of the options is I have a really big sweeter heater down my hill where I raise chicks. I can separate my coop in half. I've got like some screen I can roll and divide the coop up and make them a spot in there, which is a really big spot. I'm also possibly thinking about putting them in a little brooder in here, just at least till they're strong enough. You know, I can watch them good, make sure they're on their feet good before I put them down the hill. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. I used to have like a wooden brooder in here that I kept pine shavings, but my mom has that currently, so I've come up with another idea possibly. So I have some aquarium stuff left over. Now, what I was thinking was, and this one's obviously a little too small, but either getting like a little terrarium or like an aquarium that's a little bit bigger and filling it with sand and putting the chicks on top of sand, and I can scoop that out and keep it really clean. I've always thought about trying that. I think that would be a really good clean bedding for the chicks, and I could keep them under here. Good evening. Decided to come back outside while it's cooled off. That's what I love about May. The evenings are just so wonderful, and mornings. The humidity hasn't really set in yet, and it just feels great. So it's a good time to water and weed the garden. I've got to go down there. I'll show you guys how good everything is growing. Everything's growing so quickly right now, and I need to get eggs and just do some evening chores. And it's not really chores because I just love doing it. So to me, it's just so wonderful. And guys, I've got to get some stuff planted. I've gotten here. I've got some peppers that have been sitting out here, some tomatoes, some cherry tomatoes. I need to put those in the ground somewhere. These were my rare zinnia. It hasn't come up yet, so I'm not real hopeful about those, but also got to get them watered. Y'all, this is my zinnia bed, which I've got a sunflower that's come up in here. I think it's going to be okay. It's on that one corner. But this one over here is one of my volunteers, and it was super huge. I actually had to cut a few pieces off the bottom because I was afraid it was going to block all of the light where my hummingbird vine is going to come up. But I'm going to let it stay here for a little while, as long as it doesn't like hinder my plants growing in here. There's the corn. I worked on weeding this row last night. Some of the corn has doubles. And actually we left these like this last year, some of them, and they really did so good. We had so much corn last year. We still have a lot of it left. We haven't even eaten all of it. This is peaches and cream. That's the kind that we grow. This one's a little bit smaller. I've been able to keep the weeds pretty good out of it. We need to bring the tiller through the rows though, especially like between the onions and the beans. There's quite a bit of grass growing up. Potatoes are looking really good. These were from last year's crop that was left over in my basement. I just let them grow roots and we planted them. Now here's my okra. It's growing kind of slow at the moment, but eventually it will take off and we'll have a lot of okra.
Well, Seton & Sons is on the road today. We come out of the shop and had to make a house call.
House call.
See, everything just about that's been done nice on this house that we're at today. Been done by Seton & Sons. See, take a look right over there. That bond that's over there. Me and Seth and my brother did that. So we're here today building a deck for an outdoor kitchen area. So yeah, that's what we're doing today.
Another skill.
Pay the bills, but this is a non-paying job. So I really don't know why I'm here.
A lot of yours are non-paying jobs.
Yeah.
No, not all of them.
I mean, not all.
No.
A lot.
All right.
And I just, can't pay the bills with non-paying job. Oh well.
Y'all look real busy.
We are not.
No change.
So here's what's happened. Seton & Sons was not responsible for ordering the materials for this job. However, I did issue or provide the proper materials list for this project and didn't get anything right. And I even sent pictures with aisle numbers and the bays that the product's in the specific aisles. And we ain't got nothing to work with. Nothing. It's It's like it's running as good as a soup sandwich would. I'm gonna take the credit card with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's called this. I don't know what I done.
They're at it again. What's good? This one?
Grab it.
It does. It looks good.
What are you gonna have to do around the gas line?
I'll fix to show you. We're gonna cut the gas line and I'll reattach it. Just left, right.
Making him do that.
We're gonna fix that in a minute.
You don't have good balance.
I got plenty good balance.
No, you don't. You fall all the time, like at least once a month.
So what are you gonna do? I'll show you in just a minute. Where's the pencil?
Behind your ear.
Oh, it's not. You got the wrong size bit.
Well, Seth has the wrong size bit.
I don't have it.
Well, that's the one you're using.
No, that's what we were using for the other things. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know, Margot.
You gonna put your foot back on it?
Yes, I'd love to. Oh! Well, send her home. Goodness.
Well, you didn't put your foot on it very good. It's not level. It's gonna be sticking up there. I'm gonna trip on it every time I go in there to make a burger.
Updates.
Decking.
Decking.
We're putting purple decking down. She's she's a unique client. Likes weird colors. But hey, what I'm getting paid for this, I'll put her in.
It doesn't look purple to me.
I hope it doesn't look purple.
It doesn't look purple. No, they're lying.
Yep.
It's gonna take a lot of foot.
It's gonna take a lot.
This is a time-consuming thing right here.
Yes, it is.
These clips.
But you'll never do it again.